Hello, welcome to my channel. I'm going to do another video about corruption, how to weed it out using astrology to be able to find out where these people are, who these people are, and also bring that in, and then so we can weed out all the bad guys from top down. Are you ready? I got to do my bit, you know. I might not finish it off, but someone else will. So, I just said that. Yeah, I did. I said it. So the reason why I'm going through this is because on a societal concept, as a Royal Archangel Gabriella, I am here to help humanity, right? Provide them with an understanding that our tree in a societal concept has been dismantled. It is a known fact that our tree in our society, in our Western world, has been dismantled, okay? From a societal construct. So this might have been because of COVID or, a world domination tactic that might take place as a 2030 agenda. They're trying to reject it. But what happens usually is it just gets put through and then it goes fast forward. That's usually what happens. But, and it's a big but, a lot of these people who are running these planes right now are the ones who are doing it. They're the ones who are running the planes. The ones who are providing this information. Like a lot of them have either passed away that did the 2030 agenda. They either passed away and a lot of them are like either, was trained by them, right? So you can call them their teachers or whatever. So a lot of people are being trained now to go into this era, this 2030 agenda plan. I think there is a 2030 agenda plan. I'm not sure. I think it was I'm not sure if it's 2030 or not. But they're trying to, in the UK, they're trying to reject this policy. Someone talked about it on YouTube. I can't remember his name. Scottish man. Right? Anyway, this is true. I think he's being ritualised as well. Looks like it. Right, it's because you're bringing out knowledge. If you ever get ritualised, anything like that, there's something wrong, you're like, I don't know what's wrong with me, I feel bad. Oh, yeah, you might feel it, oh, yeah. It's because they're ritualising you, right? Ritualising you. This is why. So we really have to understand why this is taking place, what's going on. Sometimes we can be ritualised to be a conditioned concept. This can be like this is like an aspect of being conditioned. So you can be conditioned, mind conditioned, controlled. And then what they do is they try and control us by doing this stuff. So I'm making you aware, not because I'm going to do it, but because other people are doing it. Okay? And it's really important that you understand this. Because Gabriella, yeah? That's why. And it's a messenger for the children, what's going on in this era. Right? So this is the 2030 agenda. Placing, so is it 60% of the world population to be diminished? To be gone? 60% of the population. That's what they said. Well, and that's usually a war tactic, right? So they've done it through wars. So, what is their aim? To like just take away all the rights of children. They've done this in the UK. There's children's rights, but they're adding things to implement things like as a poverty line basis. But so let's get into this. There's a little bit about poverty, understanding poverty. And for example, we have larder vouchers, which are like food stamps. Now, if you stop providing that, well, the children are going to go down, aren't they? It's a logical process to understand. It's a travel. It's a consequence to an action, right? So this is basic principles in life. So if you can see, they have stopped giving out larder vouchers from the job centre, and they are telling you that you can't have it under a Data Protection Act. Well, that's obviously a load of rubbish. You just put a number on it. That's it. Just put a number instead of a name, and that's it. Done. Right? So there's issues there where they're trying to say it's data protection to stop the larder vouchers. Right? So they're trying to say that there's this big... So this would be understanding how they can implement new policies from... I think I spoke about these theories underpinning human rights. Okay? So I've spoke about this already in some of my videos. I think this might be the first one I did. and it's underpinning human rights. And they add extra policies in. So I'm going to do it basic for you because I did one about it. If you really want to know about the wording and all that, you can go there. But this one is really about how they can implement extra policies. So I did a social policy class, and I did this in criminology, okay? So I did a social policy class to find out all the stuff and that, the words and stuff that they use. So basically all they're doing is they're adding extra policies, because you get laws and then you get policies. And what they do is they try and inhibit the laws with the policies, so they can sway a gauge, a narrative within society, so that it can stop people from really, it's then becomes a misuse. So then this is how we can understand how our human rights are being are being trashed, basically. They're being inhibited, right? So this is how they can break your tree as well. But they're doing it, but on a societal construct. It's almost like, because we're clever human beings, right? You've got to realise we are civilised, we are clever, we are intelligent, we are an intelligent species. We have a know-it-all. We do know. You've got people in positions of power that shouldn't be there. And it's because they're creating policies using things like data protection as a gauge to stop this larder voucher concept that I'm going to bring to you. Then they pushed in a new law to say that the children who are in poverty lines, they're more risk, because it's a law to provide your child with financial support. Right, so just understand this. Like, if they're saying that they want you to provide financial support, so you've got to be like middle class. So you see all these working class, they could easily get taken out. All they've got to do is put a price, put a line on, But then again, you've got to think, if we're on universal credit, because that's what we have in our function in our UK-based system. If you're on a universal credit, what can happen is that it's the government's responsibility as well at the same time to adjudicate and adhere to what they're supposed to give you, because it's the baseline. Everyone should have this. But I think they might do a U-turn on that. And I think they might. And this is a fear of mine, but I can almost feel into this 2030 agenda. And it's almost like they're going to try, because they've made it into a law. So why would you make it into a law? Why would a government make it into a law-based reality what we have to adhere by when it's a government responsibility? Do you get what I'm saying? So it's a government responsibility to make sure that you're on your lines, that you're not under poverty lines, okay? So this is how they've got larder vouchers or food stamps, stuff like this, so that you've always got that, because otherwise they're not adhering, are they? They're not the government that we were brought up with, okay? Because I'm 35 now, right? So listen to this. When I was 35, the government had a responsibility. They had to adhere to making sure people weren't falling down, safety nets to bring them back up again. Okay, this is how I understand government. This is how people usually will understand government, how it's supposed to act, and this is really the reality of how the reality of this world is supposed to be, right? So this is why there's a concern, because now they've put in laws that we have to adhere by, but it's a government's responsibility. So they're passing responsibility that was originally set, because the government are the ones who set the financial based system, they set the economy, they set all this stuff. So it's almost like, you have to get a job, you have to have a certain amount to get benefits, just to give you a top up for living. So this is kind of like how a government based system is meant to work, but it's also a trap, okay? So this is how it can be a trap, right? If you don't know how to live in the wilderness in a caravan, like the Irish travellers, you don't know how to do that, well, we're all screwballs, aren't we? So you've got to think of the financial sector. Do we need money to live? So if you're a traveller, think about it. You had an awesome cart, let's go there. You had an awesome cart and you had a caravan, and you knew how to be resourceful on this land and eat and stuff like that. Do you need money? You know how to make your own bacco? You know how to make your own alcohol? You're resourceful. You've got what you need. You've got a blanket. You've made some baskets out of, made some baskets, right? Collecting your apples off a free tree that someone planted years ago that you can now eat off, right? Eat your blackberries, right? You can get food, like you can make some lettuce in the back garden or your little turf that you've got, wherever it is, free land, who cares? Scotland, there's loads of it, right? So, it's just an example. If you had all that, if you knew how to live like that, off grid, right? What do you need money for? Right? What do you need money for? So this is how I'm trying to come about it. It's like give you an understanding of why is there a law-based system that you have to have a certain amount of money if you know how to live off land. Stupid, isn't it? Right? But this is the thing. This is the reality. Is that why put it in a law-based system just spontaneously like that? There's a reason. There's a reason why they're doing it, and it's because this is how they're going to trap the working class and their kids to take them. This is the thing as well, which is I'm concerned about, and I don't think this should happen. I think you need to stop. Okay, so this is my response to this. You need to stop. You need to stop, because you've got to think, all these old dudes, they think they're off to La La Land. They think they're off to Marshland. They think they're going to jump out and go to a different universe. They do, and they're not. There's one. It's this one. It goes all the way to the top. You've got a universal concept. Okay, they've seen it. This is why they're telling you. That's the universe, right? I've told you in my dimensions if you want to go back to that. We have one world. This one. One. And if you haven't been high enough to understand that, then you haven't been high enough to understand that. Okay, you don't understand it. You might be an 8dBing. You might be, and you've got a lot of 8dBings running this plane right now as well. If you don't understand what that means, then, you have to really come about this with understanding your ascension and how you need to rise in your ascension. Like this. Bing! Right? So what they can do is they try rise you and then break you down, like the ritual, queen ritual concept, and then they try and break you from we are all one, or we are all one. We aren't all one. It depends. And your ritual will be about whatever you means to you, because this is what they do. They find out what your weaknesses are. They find out what you love. They find out what stuff you want, and then they just dismantle it. So this is like an analogy of being the 2030 agenda. You will be happy with nothing. This is the analogy, right? So we have to understand that when there's an analogy being put forward, you will be happy with nothing. Well, nobody's going to be happy with. Well, you could be happy with nothing. I mean, you can be a traveller and, live off the land. What do you mean happy with nothing? What does that mean? Right? I think one bloke said that. I think he might be in, there's protests going on everywhere now. There's loads of protests. They're fighting. And it's not just about climate change, it's about loads of stuff. I think one of the things that they've pushed really in media is about the change. It's about the climate change, but it's not. It's not about the climate change. That's just like one little group for a whole protest of people fighting about different things because something isn't right within the government. Something isn't right within these places. This is why. I think it's Berlin. We're all kicking off. So it's just like there's a reason why, and it's because we don't want war. We don't want the way this world's going. So everyone's kicking off. Not everyone, because some people are stuck in fear, hidden as well. And they get locked down. A lot of people get locked down when they know stuff. A lot of people might end up in prison for no reason, mental wards for no reason. This is the kind of reality that this is how they stop a narrative being pushed in society where we can have that human right concept. So this is what they were doing, for example, with the gays, like back in 1940s. They didn't want that in our society at that time. So they were trying to see why this was taking place. And doing experiment, like whatever, they were doing analysis and that, trying to figure out why these people are that way, right? But it weren't. It was because it had already happened in the past. They were just trying to create a narrative. But it's almost like, if you can go that far, how far are you willing to go type thing? And it just is. How far are you willing to go? And that's the fear as well. So that's a fear analogy. If you're gay, how far are you willing to go type thing? But at the same time, they were bringing women who had hysteria, who were claiming their partners, because they had to live off their partners, didn't they? Women weren't their own citizens, right? So we've got to think about the past and bring it forward into this. So let's go, going into the past. So you've got the women who were being told they had hysteria, they were put in mental institutions by their husbands because they were coming out with things like they were being abused, like women were being abused, okay, within their homes. They were talking about this and nobody was listening to them, and they were just putting them in mental health institutions. So, and you got to think, this is kind of like how they used to control women. They used to control women this way, and they still do now. They still do now. And this is why the gays are going gay pride, and we're all going to be like gay pride, right? Yeah, fair enough. But it's kind of, you always got to understand that there's an extremity to these things. Okay, how far are they willing to go? It's too far, right? That's too far. There's a line, boundaries. Come on. We had Chiron and Pisces, crying out loud. We had Chiron and Pisces. What does this mean? It meant that there was no boundaries. This is why gender fluidism came out. Gender fluidism has to be an understanding as a pronoun. It's an understanding. I can observe you. What do I look like to you? That's what I am. If I look like a bloke, I look like a bloke to you. So what? If I look like a woman to you, well, obviously I am a woman. Thanks, mate. You acknowledge that I was a woman. Great. Not bothered, right? It's because I have a wound in a different area. Okay, this is why I'm bringing it to you, because my wound is understandable as well in these paradigms, but not that. I am a woman. My sex is a woman. My gender is somebody who observes me. So if I was to look, my gender is what you think of me. That's a pronoun, because a pronoun is explaining a thing. Explaining an object, explaining a person, explaining something. So a pronoun is a table. Oh, what's that look like? Well, it's not a man or a woman, is it? So we're going to skip that one. I'm going to go to a woman because that was a noun. This is a pronoun. Pronoun is an individual explained from an observational perspective. What is that? Well, that table is a noun. That table is a noun. So I'm a pronoun, and you're going to explain now me, I am a man or a woman from an observational perspective. Okay? I don't really get to choose that gender thing. That's up to them, isn't it? What they call me, if I look like a man or a woman. If you want to look like a man, if you want to look like a woman, that's fair enough. Don't matter, does it? But if I saw somebody and they look like a man, I'd say he. Because it's my pronoun. I was brought up with that understanding. It's like that. And it's kind of like that. And it's like trying to push a narrative because it was Chiron and Pisces. Everyone felt that. Everyone felt a Chiron and Pisces energy. Okay? Everyone felt it one way or another. There was a wound. Right? And it came out in society. And it was about gender. Being gender fluid. And you've got to realise is that Chiron and Pisces is all about boundaries. And pushing boundaries into positions. So that these people can have a structure. So a lot of the times, this is from a societal perspective, a Chiron can come in and dismantle a boundary. Okay? This is usually how it can take place. But at the same time, as a societal concept, we should understand this. We should understand our astrology. We should be knowing about this. They told us about this. The Jewish told us about astrology. So they have to ignore it all so they can do what they want. This is why that's why they push anti-Semitism. That's why they were pushing it. That's why they were doing Holocaust. Because all these people knew. They were all innocent. And they took advantage of it. They took advantage of their knowledge. And this is why the Holocaust took place. But it weren't just about that. Because I think it was Germany got took out first. And then Hitler came in and was like, hang on a minute. Right? Then they all blamed him in the end. Right? And it went down in history. I think he was just trying to help everybody, wasn't he? He was saying it in his speeches. I was like, this doesn't sound like what you're telling me, what he's trying to say. Because in one breath, I think, we're in history, one breath he was like, they said he wanted to create a race of blonde hair, blue eyes. And then the next minute, he was like, he weren't blonde hair, blue eye, and the next minute he has blue eyes, and then it's like, hang on a minute, I don't get this. And then you've got all these camps and you've got kids blonde hair, blue eyes all in them. Why would he put load of little kids in a camp with blonde hair, blue eyes if that was what he wanted to generate? If that's what he wanted to recreate. Think about it. Think about it. So, we have to really now understand how our world has been shaped. Who's telling us these stories? What is this about? It's not a cultural study, is it? It's a history class. Now, I don't like history. I got an E for it. Because I looked at it and I was like, this isn't making any sense. How can I remember this? Don't make no sense. I've got to remember this and this. Don't make any sense. That's how you know it's a lie, right? Because you can't catch up with it. It's just like, hang on a minute, there's so many lies dishing about here, there and everywhere, you can't even catch up with it. Because that many lies. And it's like, oh, well, you can't respond. And it's just like, they stop you. This is how you can tell it's a fix. This is how I can tell it's a con. This is how you can tell that, you know, something ain't quite right. We should be doing cultural studies at school, not history. So we should be doing cultural studies at school, not history, right? That's it. And also I'd like to get back to the women who are being pushed into mental home institutions for coming out with being abused. What do you think they were doing to them women in there? And they got other women to do it as well. A lot of them had the kids took off them, right? Because they wanted them. They want the kids, don't they? They always want the kids. It's not about oil, right? It's not about oil. It's not about it's about financial based system. Of course it is, because that's the reality. It's not about oil. So let's get that out of our heads right now. Right, so let's get into this 20 minutes. Wow. Right. So you get some people who do it for money. Some people do it because they've had the tree smashed or been threatened to do it. I'm talking about corporates. I'm talking about people working in the system. I'm talking about middle class. I'm talking about middle class now, because I've spoke about the working class. This is how they take the working class out. Now I'm going to speak about the middle class, okay? So this is how it's done, because they got the high-paying jobs. They ain't got the high-paying jobs, I mean, like 50 grand or whatever. I mean, like anywhere between 30 to like 50 grand. It's a working class under a financial-based system, okay? So we're not going into moral ethics or anything like that. We're just going to go into straight financial-based system, a society now it works, okay? Because they can have morals and not. They're just doing a job. This is what they say as well. So I don't know if you've noticed, but they do it to keep their money, so they keep their family safe. This is why. So they'll do it like this. Most of us, they're going to be threatened to have their trees smashed. You don't do this, I'm going to smash your tree. Do this to this person, or I'm going to smash your tree. And then what they'll do is they'll get money or splendor from it, so they'll get the tree smashed anyway, because they'll have to do it. So like what happens usually is that when somebody destroys your life from like a middle class sector pace, and you're like lower in financial, right? Because you might have chose to look after your children. You might not have chose to go get that job. You might have chose to look after those children because there was someone else not quite right. Anyway, let's get back to this. So you got to think there's an emotional space there going on where that person has to do this. So it doesn't matter whether they like front it to you or not. Their tree's already smashed because they threatened them. So they've smashed the tree. So they can either go that way or that way. They can't go that way because they might be doing something that's corrupt or adhering to a policy where their moral compass isn't the level playing field. So they can't even go up there. So they have to go up here. They have to. Because they've been told to do something. And if they don't do it, they're going to get in trouble, smash their tree, concept. And then this happens as well on this side because they can't go with love because, you know, they've just ruined people's lives. So they can't go with an aspect of knowing this because they've just absolutely, they can't live, some people can't live with themselves after they've done this, or they might not realise because they're in their fields, but then like 5-10 years later, you know, you've been doing the same job for like 10 years, you've got a whole new changeover of staff, there'll be completely different people in that zone. So you've got to realise that when you reach your ideal energies, you've got to rise. You got to rise. You lot are going to have to rise. You'll be in old age, a lot of you, right? Because I did it earlier, but you lot will be, and I think there's a reason why, because I think I'll be stepping out soon, because I don't think people want me to be here. They get threats. And one of the ones, old man in suitanology, he said to me, "You won't look like this in 5 years." I was like, well, maybe it's because what I'm going to say. So, when you reach to I do energies, a lot of you dudes, like old men and that, all in these high positions and that, you probably haven't even hit it yet. You might hit it in like understanding certain things. Like it might be like you might have married, right? You might have married, you might have done it in a different way. But you might have just reached this place and gone back to there. You're good to your wife, stuff like this. You're just pushing her in judgment all the time. You're good to your wife. You're good to these people that you look after. Are you overseeing them? So like, you got these people that are in really high position, paying power. Well, I won't go there yet, but I'll go to middle class because this is an understanding of middle class. Because you're just here fulfilling your feels, spender. You're here trying to, with love, support your family. You're doing this with an emotional connection intact. But if somebody's threatening that, well, that's your world gone turned upside down, isn't it? That's an analogy for an inversion, but it's not. It's not a truth because you just end up down here. This is it, Malkuth. That's it. You don't go. You can end up in spiritual programs, all that crap all day long. That's down here, back there, and beyond, right? But this is the reality. Okay, this is why Malkuth is the earth, and then we are stood on the earth. So this is why people do this, because they've got families to support. But if you're being pushed into these spaces where you're not allowed to help provide, you smash your tree. You've only got one side to go up. That's why everyone's here. That's why there's no support in the systems anymore, because they've been told to do something against an act of love, or why you went into that position in the first place, or what it was that fueled you to sit there for 3 years and go into these like social work lectures and sit there and listen how to develop a child, how to nurture that child, how to bring that child up, how this is done, how society should support these children, how they've not as well, because we did that in criminology. We did this stuff in criminology. So I sat in some social work lectures as well, right? Because they was trying to do family court law in criminology. I remember there was this one woman and she was supposed to do it and she never did it. We had a seminar on it afterwards with a very placid woman. She wasn't placid, she wasn't even lit up. Right? She would just textbook, you know what I mean? And then this woman, and I went to her at the end, I was like, why? Why is it that you're not going to do this and you're going to do a different one? Why aren't you going to finish the original? And she said, there's that much corruption. She's not there anymore. There's that much corruption in the court system. I think there's family, stuff like that. But there's that much corruption within the family system. I can't do it. That's what she said. 2040. Between 2011 and 2014. She said she can't do it. That much corruption that's going on in the family courts. Right? So that was like 10 years ago. So there's no protection to understand that once you leave those children, like social workers, they all know me, right? But they didn't realise when they went in, because they didn't come and sit in my lecture that I had, what that woman was saying. But I bet they all sit. I went and sat in theirs. She told me to. Right? So we have to understand that in middle classes, you lot probably might judge other people, fall into judgment for other people. But you'll only ever be here. You'll push it all onto everyone else. You won't give any of this. No support. There's no support. There's no mercy. Right? So I'm here. I'm sitting here telling you lot what this means on purpose, because I'm rising with love, right? For humanity. And I hold my pole, Asherah's pole. It's my pole, right? So this is an ancient religious understanding that I'm just bringing to you there about Ashura Pole. It's not about destroying, it's about rebuilding. Right, so I don't know what programs and whatever people have been dishing out, but you know, you've got to realise is that this is why I'm speaking. So you understand that there isn't a narrative, and I am going to be suppressed as well. So you've got people in the middle classes, they'll never rise up to you because they can't. Do you know what they'll hurt them that much? Because it's not a drag, but it's concept. I am what? All one? I do all one? No. Because it depends on what ritual they want to put you in. And a hierophant, this is a ritual perspective or a program even. It might just be in everyday life, right? It might be someone judging you, pushing you up here with judgment. Boing. But it's a different understanding to being in there. Because here, if somebody takes you, then you got to realise what's going on. But if you're going up there and it's just you know, you can understand that position. You can see a truth, which is this is a pain on this is a pearl. Okay, this is a pearls of wisdom. So that's I think that's like a different one. I think that's a Venus concept where she holds a pearl. I think I don't know her name, but she's a goddess, Venus. She holds a pearl, and this is a love to rise with support, and that's that side of the tree explained. Okay, so this is where I'm coming from as well, because this is a Venus energy for me. So a supportive energy as well, but it's an oyster. The oyster represents this, and this is the pearl. And she holds it with love. Okay? So that's a bit of mythology in there as well I wanted to put. But this is a middle class concept. This is what you're missing this. You're missing it out. You're missing the whole stream out of there because you're telling people to go against love. And this is how the middle class think they're winning, but they haven't even risen. They're still down here. They're being pushed down, pushed down, pushed down, pushed down, pushed down. You're not rising, switch off, switch off, switch off. Don't, you're not important, you're just important in your role, you're replaceable, stuff like this. They do it. Do you know why? Because sometimes people are powerful, right? So I've got like real powerful energy and they don't like it. They like to take, you know, people like to take, you know, when something's good, they like to take from you, don't they? Let's understand. This is a normal function inside. If somebody wants something that's yours, they're going to take it. They're going to try and take it, right? And this is why. Because I have my energy fields. My energy feels like 2,936 or 63. I've seen people with 300. You've got power people that got like 800. And you're like, look at me, I've got 2,900 and what the hell? I got a position here because like I said, that was my position. So it's a Venus energy. So this is the shell concept. This is this shell of support. This is the pearl. It's not a rise there. It's not a rise to there. Trust me on that one. This is the pearl of wisdom that we've created. That's been created in this place to form these functions. But if you can't rise there, you might sit there and have sympathy for somebody, but you only sat there, love. You might sit there and think, oh yeah, I've got my house, my shelter, my shell, so I'm supported. And then you sit there with your pearls of wisdom. Well, what pearl have you got? You ain't got one. It's empty. It's empty. You ain't got a pearl, mate. Or your middle classes and that. You ain't got pearls. I think you reached an aspect of support, shell, and then you've got a pearl. No, you haven't. You ain't a pearl. It's reality. Somebody else told you to do it, and you did it and your process was to smash someone else's tree. So you fought. You always fall back down. You're not in a supportive energy for the people within a societal concept. You might be able to gain money, but that's back down there again. That's not a pearl, is it? It's not a pearl of wisdom. So from a society-based construct, see this, you're not in wisdom. Not in wisdom, bloody hell, it's 34 minutes long. You are not in wisdom on a societal-based construct. Nobody is. It's been cut off. And then we need to open them gates again to rise. Because people don't want people at the top. In yours. Because that's how we change the world. That's how we change narratives for the people. So this is a higher up perspective. This is an analogy for the higher classes. They know this. This is I know energies. We all should be there. But usually as well, what happens for kids, especially if they're in working class environments, so that what they're trying to do with 2030 agenda, putting kids in, destination of like the world, 6% population to be gone or something like that. Right, so what they're doing taking kids for? Why do you want to disseminate this whole plane? You got to think how old you lot are, right? You lot think you haven't even risen here. It's a program. It's a program. Okay, whatever you've done, it's an analogy understanding the programmable state. So when you sit there and you think, oh yeah, I've won because I've put all these kids in care, or I've handled it the way I was told to do it, so that's the boss. He takes the no. You do as well. You take that as a consequence because nobody's rising here past here because your boss is here. Your boss is here. Same place as where you are, because it's a top-down understanding. So if you got being told to do something, you'll only ever rise as high as they are. You'll only ever rise as high as they are, and they won't even let you go to their level because they don't want you there as well because they want to rule. So wherever it is, wherever they are, which is usually here, they don't want you to go any higher than that. So they push you down. So this is the reality when you can rise to these levels and understand. I'm telling you now, I'm understanding. I'm here because I remember when I was younger, 10 years ago, I couldn't speak about all this stuff like I am now. I couldn't do it. It's too much. It hurt me too much. It really it dismantled a lot of my wish for the world, because I wished for peace and harmony, for example. Okay, I wished for this. This is my side. So it's kind of like what's going on here. And it was almost like when I studied, I was acquiring knowledge. So I rose here to acquire the knowledge of what's going on down here. Because I had to rise to this place, to understand this place, because this is why you have to do it. This is how it's done as well. But when you get there, it hurts. Because of the state of the place. I couldn't even speak about some of this stuff. I had to write. Sometimes I have to write about it now. It hurts too much. And it's because we have to all acquire an aspect of understanding. And when we don't know how to understand something because it's too much for us to bear, to comprehend in our heads. So you're with me 37 minutes long. You got to realise that some of this stuff, because I've got Venus Pisces, I'm a really loving person. You might have a stronger energy there, so you might be able to understand this a bit better, or be able to talk about it better. Who cares? Everyone can speak about it. The reality is that we have to come to an understanding, and then we can fix our tree again from a society-based construct. Because you've got some people here that are destroying the plane, and they don't want you to rise higher, so they bring you down. So from a higher perspective, from the higher class and financial based system, well, they're still sort of hanging around here. They might come to an aspect of a Hierophant energy. But what pearl is being given? Are you giving a pearl? Or are you just going to give trash back and push somebody into judgment? Well, then that's where you are as well. You come with me because you want me there. So you don't give me a pearl. You give me worthless dross. So that's where you are. You're in worthless dross as well. Because this is the reality. You might have loads of dosh. You might be well supported from your position of what you're doing, yes man. But let me tell you here and now, see that judgment there? That's where you are. And you might dish love out all day long. In an aspect of what? Judgment. People do it in a kind way, but they're still weirdos. That's how you get like grooming and stuff. Okay? This is how I can understand grooming concepts. with, oh yeah, have a sweet concept and then I'll hurt you. In judgment. Oh yeah, you can have your money, which is that side. But then I'm going to give, you know what I mean? It's not that side, because that's not a love. And if it is, if you can acquire that, just that, and it doesn't connect to anything else, there's something going on there as well. If you just get given love, just love on its own, I do love, whatever, that's simple. But if you get it on your own, on its own, and then something bad happens, and you've got to realise that there's a judgment being taken place from that. This is all they're doing to you. Well, with love, I'm going to judge you. You know? And this is the reality. This is how you can get higher ups. They're just following policy, law, protocol has been put in at the time. They're the S-man. And they just sit here. Ding, 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 ding. Okay? The Freemason symbol is here. Right? And it's about rising to here. Okay? Because I rose all the way up to the top. Bing! And it's about understanding from this place. From love, you acquire support and gain pearls. If you're not gaining pearls from this support, it's an aspect of judgment. That's where you are. And a lot of times people don't want us to be higher. The reason why this is important though is because it's about love. A lot of the times, you know, when Freemasons get slated, it's because they're not understanding this part of the tree. It's broken, okay? It's broken. The tree's broken. So you got to understand Freemasonry is, it's been broken. So this is how you can then underpin how society as a whole has broken this part of it. And it's due to the high policymakers that are behind closed doors. Behind closed doors, pushing a narrative to what? Might come across as they're really cool, decent human beings, but they're pushing narratives to put loads of kids in care, for example. It's something I wrote on my Facebook page, because there's been a lot of things coming out lately about children being put in care at mass rates. So we have to really understand who's making these policies be made. I think there's one bloke, he has glasses, little man. You know, he's nearly gone, mate. There's going to be another bloke coming as well. You know, some of these people have right intentions. I'm not saying he's wrong. I need to find his name. A lot of people, I can't email him. A lot of people have high intentions of things, but then it's just inverted as well. So a lot of the times, people, like, you might get really good, like, politicians right up there. Oh yeah, this needs to come out, but then nothing gets done. And it's kind of like, why are you in your position of power? Why are you the face of it when you're just going to be the one that's going to get blamed for it in the end? Oh, it was that dude that did it. The little one with the glasses. How old's he? I'm pretty sure he's on his last legs. He might have just been the next yes man. But you have to understand that there's a higher understanding, spiritual significance to this. If you kill loads of kids, 60% of the population going to go. If you do that, you got to realise how you're doing it. You know, maybe if you want the population to go, why don't you just allow people to have an euthanasia? You always people, cancer patients and that. Why don't you just let them have euthanasia? Let them go if they want to go. You know, let people go if they want to go. Why don't you do that? Right? I think there's one. I think we can do it in Sweden. So why don't you just implement things like that? If you want to eliminate things, if you want to eliminate the population because it's too much or whatever garbage that you want to throw at us next, just to justify an action that's false, so the tree breaks, right? So you got to realise is that the whole point of this narrative is to, if you want the lesser of the population, why don't you use, you know, positive ways to do this? You know, if somebody wants to go, why put them out of misery? Why let them lay there and just, why let them die out like that? That's cruel, right? It's cruel. You're sitting there watching your wife die. That's cruel. Why don't you let them have a euthanasia? You don't want to go like that. So this is the analogy, right? Where you might be able to use this in a positive way, and then, or you're just going to take all kids and then let them go and kill them all off. What are you doing with them, right? What are you doing with them? Because let's be honest, you've got people in positions of power who shouldn't even be there, that are doing the opposite to what they should be doing. So what is this? It's not a game world. You're going to come back through on the same streams that you came through. So all you elders up there, behind the scenes, hi, I know who you are. Can you see me? Hi, nice to meet ya. Listen to this. You lot are all going to die. Come back through on what you bloody created. You can't download Zybog World to me, mate. I'm a manifester. I came with a message. Will you try and take it or not? You know, there's a lot of things you can try and do as well to stop somebody and inhibit somebody. But the reality will always remain is that you can't do it. You can only do it to a degree, and then you're going to get blamed for it. You'll be pushed into judgment. It's all going to come back onto you as a consequence in your next lifetime. There's only one. There's only one world. And another thing is that people, when they die, they're gone. They're gone. They don't come back. Because they reincarnate back in. They don't hang about for you. So, who you're talking to? Who are you talking to? We want to believe it. We want that. They took at your heartstrings to make you think that it's still there. And they're not. They're gone. It's sad. Bloody sad. But they're gone. They come back through. A new baby. That's what you're doing to all these kids. All your ancestors sitting there thinking, oh yeah, doodaloo, I'll help you. I think that's the right thing to do. And all this. And it's like, that's not even your mum or dad. That's not even what you want about. It's not even them. It's not them that you're talking to. They've already come back through streams. They might be going through what you're doing to humanity. They might be a victim to your policies that you're creating. They might have been really good to you as well all your life, and you really care about them, love them so much. You got doodaloo. You think what they can do in this world now, what they can create. A lot of these people are just here in judgment themselves. And they've been able to get away with it that long that they're just being pushed down. Or there's another person overriding them that they can't actually see, and they're there as well. Depends. And also, astrology has a big implication to understanding the baddies. And this is why it's ignored as well. I said that about anti-Semitism as well. I think I said a lot of things, but this is kind of like just a roundup of a truth, okay? But when we come into society, humanity as a whole, we're all in the same boat. We're all here, right? And this is another thing. It sounds really like silly maybe to a higher class with loads of money, and there's me sitting here. You just stripped me of everything. There's me sitting here telling you. You're like, oh, I'm not in the same class as you. No, I'm not, but I've got more moral principles than you lot will ever have. I've got more moral principles, more ethic codes and conducts, more understanding of what's going on in these planes than any of you lot. And then you sit there and judge me, rain down on me, because I don't believe what you believe, because you're being tricked by ancestors aren't real. They maybe was once, or there may be an entity, but everyone can be hijacked. And they can. And it's in your astrological placements. You can see what people are. It's all there. I think an angel does it. He does astrology. He does readings and stuff like that. I'm not bigging you all up because, you know, some of you are actual, you know, you don't care as well. You project things, right? It's you know, people go, it's spiritual. Well, it's a program, a ritual, a spiritual thing. You got to understand that you're if you can project, what else can be added in? You know what I mean? So it's kind of an obfuscation of the truth. It's clouded judgment. Okay? So the man in the suit analogy, doo-loo-loo-loo-loo. Well, what's his face today? Right? So everyone goes around fighting each other. That down here, that are strong. Loads of people are strong. I know loads of you out there are strong. And it's kind of like we're fighting each other. And they're triangulating us. And there's a reason. And it's because they all sit in judgment and push us there. That's where they are. Oh, we found you. Let's put you there. No, I'm not there. I'm here and here and here. I am that. I am the triad. I am the royal arch. I am the royal arch. Hello, Freemasons. I'm the royal arch. Nice to meet you. And I'm here to bring a message of love. And I'm here to guide you from a broken tree to nourish, not just for ourselves, but for humanity. Oh, we're just a lucky few. No. Because I'm pretty sure you had to sacrifice something along the way as well. So your tree's broken too. Right? Don't give me that crap about how you're all nourished and that. No one is. No one is. If the higher ups, they might be like upset because they ain't got anyone left. I'll be your friend. You don't hurt everybody. What do you need? It's the reality, isn't it? If you don't want to give love, if you don't want me to be posed as a loving person, being a 6th house conjunct my sun, you don't want me to be seen as that, you better watch your back, because I am quite a fiery person. Not to the kids. I've got patience for them. But I don't have patience for people like you lot, because I've got to come to you like you come to me. Understand? So you got to realise that judgment, when you push somebody in judgment, you take everything that's good for them away. You take their things. You take it. What, do you think that somebody's going to sit there and go, okay, I'll let you take everything away from me without not doing anything because you smashed my tree that much? I can't comprehend it. It's too much. Some people do that, right? Some people do, because bless the little hearts, there could be kids. And I don't like it when people do that to kids. Let me tell you now, it stops. But some people do it because they're just being victimised and they can't do anything. And that needs to stop as well. Just leave people alone. Well, just because you're on end of life, nearly, you need to rise. You need to be rising. What is this the ritual? Is this the what is it, the 7? What is it called? Scottish Rite. Hi. Yes. Did you ritualise me? We are not all one. Okay. I am the Royal Arch. We are not all one. We are like the blades of grass on the floor, like the sand on the shores. Not one is the same. Maybe the sand, but the grass. Not one is the same. Everyone's different. Everyone's unique. We got taught this in biology in year 7. Every flower is different. Every flower is unique. Everything has to be brought to the table. What are you trying to destroy? Me? What are you lot of Freemasons? What's going on up here? There's a 7 bar there. I'm going to do it with love. If you don't do it with love, then we're not doing it. Booyah. So, understanding these fractions, I don't know what rituals you've been doing to the masses to stop us from rising. I do know. I'm going to talk about that as well. Because I am. Because I know I can see it. Before, when I was a criminologist, when I studied, I'm a criminologist. I can call myself a criminologist while I'm freelance criminologist. This is me. But at the same time, I don't sit in an aspect of Hierophant because I've acquired a pearl. I am the pearl. I am the pearl. I am the pearl. Right, so this is my analogy to understand this. So I'm the pearl. This is mine. And I'm supposed to be running the joint. And I'm running the joint. Banging the world to rights. Telling all you lot up there that reckon you're up there and you're not. You're down here. Ding, 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 ding. You're not up there, mate. I don't know actually, because I don't even know. I can't even pick a name out of that. But if they knew what I was talking about, they would laugh and say, I understand this woman. If they didn't and they got offended, you can tell they're down there. You can tell they haven't done the work. You can tell. You can see it. You can see it. You can see it. You can see the yes man. You can see the man in judgment. You can see the love man. You can see the man there that's really trying his hardest. But he wants justice, but in a good way, but he went about it the wrong way. You can see the man there that's sitting there. He's like, I don't even know. I just been passed this on last minute. Bloody hell. All this stuff that's been said. Oh, I don't know what to believe. Where's the support for this woman? What do we do for her? And then you've got the feels, and there she is sitting there. Watching you all. With a little pole. Hey, I'm up there. I'm teaching it to the masses. Aren't I? So if we can do it from an individual perspective, then hopefully things will start changing from a individual perspective, from the people who want to rise there, to if we can rise to there and understand that some of these things aren't right, like some of the things in 2030 agenda, they ain't right, like the negative energy that's being pushed, like all these children being put in care, and what I was taught in criminology about, the amount of corruption that's going on in family law, family courts, stuff like this. This was 2014. So we've really got to understand, what is the aim? What's the agenda? Are we protecting these children? Who's there for them? If we're all spiritual beings, if there's an aspect in ancestry, where are the ancestors for those children? This is what we've got to understand. Where are they? Well, if it's being hijacked, we're all being hijacked by people who are living now. Hopefully you're following me with this. So we've got to understand from a bigger factor how we can rise so that we don't fall back through these streams again and have to experience it. Because I think in 1900, you seen the state of this place? It was like little kids chimney sweeping at like 3-year-old chimney sweeping. Now no one gave a crap then, did there? Are we going back there, are we? How boring. We're really going to go there, are we? With measly existences over and over again. Just because you had a top-notch lifestyle this time, mate, don't think you're going to have another one. This is how it works. Okay? So this is a royal arch understanding. This is why I'm not in a Freemason club, because I'm not allowed. Because I'm a woman. Because they're sexist. Aren't they? But we can inquire as much as we need to rise on that tree, to understand. We're here together, we're all doing it. That's our level playing field. And it should be a moral compass, unto you, unto the other. So we can understand how Christianity, how the religions are, there is a good to this, but there's also an inversion. And this is how they've created a whole new tree of inversions, and everyone's like, yeah, let's go play on the inversions. It's like, who are you had cooped up in you? What carbon copy is it today? Right? That's reality. Freemason! And then I know.